Hi, Anshu. Thank you so much for doing this and joining us on 60 Days, 60 Voices. This is an initiative we started about 30 days ago. So we're halfway there, and I'm glad to have you here today. And the idea was through these conversations to be able to create a collaborative voice, to be able to support small businesses, not just leave it as conversations, but to continue to see what can we do and come together and make sure our voices, their voices are heard towards helping them, supporting them. The word help sounds very limited. Um, you know, I think we spoke to you almost 30 days ago, maybe just a month ago. Since then, Anshu, what are the extended challenges that you are seeing on the ground through the Goonj lens, but maybe perhaps generally too, if you can share some of that?
So I think people really need to understand that it's a much deeper and long-term kind of issues which we are getting into right now. Okay, I mean, for a lot of people, lockdown is just a date, and what people are not understanding for in the life of millions of people, lockdown is till the time they get back to the job. And unfortunately, many of us anticipated that a lot of people will go back to the villages, but we never thought that this is how it is going to happen, and so many people will die on the road, or the large number of people, millions of people, will have no trust on the cities. So there is a question on the humanity and all of us, the way, especially the employers of any category who couldn't even give that little sense of security to those millions of people who just walked away, right? So now the crisis is that all of us are worried about the migrant people in the cities, which we need to, for sure. No one is talking about those millions of people who have gone back to the villages which are already resource starved, villages which are also under complete lockdown for quite many days, and because the commercial activities are not happening, because transport and purchases are not happening, even their stuff is stuck, right? Even their income is stuck. And in any case, village communities came to the cities because there were no job opportunities in the villages, and they came in distress. None of them actually had an appointment letter to come to the cities. So they came here in distress, they remained here in distress, they went back in distress. And unfortunately, a large part of the world is still worried about the cities as usual. No one is talking about those millions of people who have gone back, and those millions and crores of people, if we use the Indian word, who are already there in the villages. So today, villages have more people, less resources, and less source of earning, less supportive or supporting hands. So that's how it is changing. And the other very important part for all of us is that there is a cycle. Okay, when I see the village India life, I see a cycle. So there is hunger, suppose as of now. Hunger for some people will be taken care by very, very high interest loan or all kind of negotiations where even their ration cards will be stuck, or their personal safety or life or respect will be will be sold. So that is the second part where the money makers will make more money. And then there is third part where there is the chance of again distressed migration or coming back to the cities. And I think I'm just telling you not only with my eyes but with the eyes of Goonj, hundreds of us and hundreds of beautiful social development organizations, grassroots organizations who are looking at it. I mean, this is where we stand as of now. It's scary, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, this is, none of us have seen anything like this. Anshu, just before this conversation started, I told you I've been watching online some of the work that you've been doing. I'd like you to throw some light on that, Anshu.
So if you saw even our campaign launch when we did, you must have seen the picture of people walking, right? Uh, so for us, somewhere we anticipated not to this extent at all, not to the kind of things which happened, but we anticipated that larger distress is going to happen in rural India. as of now, till about last week, so every Monday we release a report where we log the data of say till Friday we log it, and then Monday we release report. So if I pick up our last report, there are about 20 states where we have entered, 100 plus districts, and with about 117 local grassroots partner organizations apart from our own teams. For sure, right now the stress is on food because immediate part is the survival. So whether it is supporting some of the kitchens which are running across the cities and in some semi-urban areas, plus channelizing the cooked meal by other agencies or cooking on our own, to more importantly trying to see that how do we create more masks or sanitary pads and how do we create more of the family kits, which is ration kit for the families, not only in the cities, but also in the villages. So that's everything is happening at scale right now because we took a couple of weeks to really build up this entire system. And fortunately, with Goonj, the advantage was that in the last 2 decades, this is what we're doing. Our hardcore work is about material, about relationship, about creating a grid between urban and rural India, which we already have in 25 states and union territories. And we are we are an organization. As an organization, we build up communities, and we work with the community-based organization. So that was a strength which we have put the complete use. We have completely decentralized the model because I believe that this disaster can only be handled if we really decentralize everything, so that you reduce the human touch, you reduce the burden on logistics. So these partner organizations are purchasing things locally and reaching out to people. One very important aspect is also, instead of just supplying things or buying from big stores, we've actually reached out to hundreds of farmers, and we said that can we even imagine a kit without dal chawal, okay, or without just rice or spices? Can we just maybe pick up like a few hundred kgs of tomatoes, make a small pouches of a few kg, and start reaching out those to the people? So the farmer is supported. Farmer gets his due, and we are also making sure that the farmer is not paid any distress price or the cost price, which unfortunately is happening because now they're so desperate to sell it at any cost because they are otherwise destroying it. We are trying to pay the fair prices to them so that they don't get into the debt cycle, and so the farmer gets some income, and the products are not wasted, and plus what you get in 1 kg dal, you actually get much more in 4 kg of tomato there locally. So that's one thing. Second, we are all set to launch a major campaign on, largely on do-it-yourself kind of thing, because we have created more than 100,000 masks right now, with the cloth which we had or which we could get from somewhere. So now what we're trying to do is that can every village or can every 2 villages start making masks for themselves, undergarments for themselves, sanitary pads, which we call my pad in Goonj model for themselves. So that is fortunately really picking up very well. There are a lot of say tailors which have no work, but suddenly they got a little bit of job, and fortunately with this model, more people are getting inspired to really copy, replicate these ideas, and that's the whole idea of Goonj being absolutely open source institution. So that's where we stand as of now.
Thanks, Anshu, and that actually nicely segues into the third question, because in a way, despite the dire situation and the almost struggle to survive right now, you did end with some hint of hope where there's some self-reliance. And I'd like to build on that sense of hope. Is there some opportunity in this distress? Anshu, not now, but going forward, can we build around that? Because a lot of times people say in times of distress, innovation happens. And I understand right now it's about survival, but at the end of the tunnel, do you see something emerge?
Listen, this is a golden chance for bringing a lot of corrections in the way we have been thinking, doing things. Okay, this is a golden chance to remove the very demeaning words like donor, beneficiary and all, because all of us are beneficiary. And in any case, I've been advocating this and saying again and again that we used to call farmer a beneficiary. Uh, Unfortunately, we are the beneficiary of a farmer because that is the reason we are able to survive inside our homes. So, or the demeaning words like when you start calling a farmer unskilled. I mean, someone who is the most skilled person, you bring him here, move him out of him or her out of the farming, which is his or her core knowledge, and make him plumber because you need a plumber. So this is a correction. This is a chance for correction. So I see a lot of hope here. Fine, this is an immediately survival or distress issue, but can we value the fellow human being much more? Can we think of the dignity of people? Much more. Can we make sure that no one, the people who have gone back to the villages now in distress, 100% distress, that they do not come back in distress, and they also do not live in distress there. And it is possible. The day we start, respecting the farming and the farmers and the villages, which unfortunately this country has absolutely grossly ignored. We always treated village communities, 70% of our population, as workers for us. Either they make handicraft for us, or they grow rice for us, or they come to the city, become our driver or maid, or make our houses and remain homeless. So this is a huge chance for the larger part of the community of the business, of the new entrepreneurs, the newcomers in the field, to correct the way we have been operating, start respecting people for what they have, the kind of skills they have, make sure that we spend more time, money and energy in the village India, which has 70% population, where 70% customers are also there, to be honest, fine, apart from doers. And value those people much more than ourselves, because of them we have been able to survive this. Anyone who had food is not on the road. So imagine the people who gave us food are on the road at the end of the day. So this thankful kind of stuff, or this gratitude, should not be limited, to only the date when we open up, but forever. I think it's a karja on us, and this is the right time to pay back that karja or pay back that debt. So I see a lot of hope in correcting things. And I need, to be honest, we need more and more people to think through this and see that enough of app which were delivering food for me and you. There should have been, if we had developed certain kind of technologies for 70% of this country. I'm not saying there is nothing, but even when you talk about technology, if we had developed really some solutions for the larger part of this country, even the tech solutions, people wouldn't have been dying on the road like this, or wouldn't have been walking on the roads like this, which is very painful for many of us.
What you say is so, I mean, it's so compelling and it's so true, right? What you're saying is really, this is our chance for humanity to become more human. And if we don't do it now, we probably never will learn. Thank you, Anshu. Please do reach out if there's any way the game as a collaborative. I don't mean game, the secretariat, but just all of us can be part of what you're doing. Please reach out. From our end, I keep promoting all of the good work that you're doing. But beyond that, if there's any way we can collaborate, please let us know.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Anshu.
All the best. All the best.
Take care. Bye.